Welcome to the Kayla Lee Show. We're about to leave behind those old school beliefs and those low vibe limitations that lead you to exhaustion and to burnout as you grow your business. Together, we will explore how you can 2x your revenue in the next 90 days, how you can reclaim back 10 plus hours of your week, how you can rapidly create a multi-6-figure business or a 7-figure business in less than 12 months. Today's conversation is all about how I went from 35K years to 149K years in less than 12 months. That level of growth sounds freaking insane. It sounds wildly insane and it actually defies logic. But today's conversation is all about how long it took for me to get those results. It took me 8 years in business to get that level of growth. So it wasn't overnight. It didn't happen in a blink of an eye. There was no collapsing of time. It took 8 years of consistent action for me to get those results. Today, I'm going to share a little bit more about the challenges, the struggles, what it actually took, the things that were going on in my own personal life that held me back. Well, not held me back, but my heart was somewhere else. It wasn't in my business growth. My heart was with my family. And I'm going to share with you exactly the challenges, the struggles, what it actually took for me to overcome the things in business that kept me small, that held me back, that stopped me from going beyond 35K years. I want to inspire you to see that there is another level of growth available to you, and there is another way of doing business that doesn't come at a sacrifice. So today I have a multi-6-figure business. I have 2 multi-6-figure businesses, and I have a beautiful, incredible team that surround me to help those visions come to life, right? It's not always been this way. This has only happened, this level of growth has only happened in the last 24 months. So what you see in the business that I have today is not what it's always been. In fact, for 8 years of my business, I struggled to propel beyond 70K years. And in the coming conversations, the coming episodes, I'm going to share with you exactly what it took to get there. But in today's conversation, I wanted to share a little bit more of a vulnerable, heart-centered insight into my world in the last 8 years of business. So to give myself grace, for the first 3 years of my business, I had no clue what I was doing. I am a qualified bookkeeper, small business diploma, and I am a hairdresser, and I have small business management, and I still had no clue what I was doing. I absolutely was one of the lucky ones, because when I started 10 years ago, there were no mobile bridal hairstylists that existed on the planet ever, and I was one of them. So naturally, being such a limitation of bridal hairstylists, I became fully booked. The thing is that I was undercharging my services. I was so fully booked that I was undercharging my services, and my limitation around revenue and time was completely capped, which resulted in me having burnout, exhaustion, overwhelm, all the things. And I just struggled to actually get beyond 70K years. Then as my business progressed, I met my husband and we had the babies, and then 4 years later down the track, I had actually popped out 3 beautiful boys. So to give myself grace, 4 of those 8 years, I had given birth to 3 of my babies. So my heart absolutely belonged with them, and my business took a huge step back. It was no longer a priority. It didn't even come on the radar. And because of that, I actually sacrificed my client experience, my bridal experience. Everything just dwindled. It just became so hard to keep up with everything. I had no systems, no processes, no team. It was an absolute struggle. And to be honest, to reach 70K years killed me. I was in absolute burnout. Then as my second boy was born, it was only 5 weeks after he was born that I lost my mum to cancer. And wasn't expecting to get emotional, but here we are. 5 weeks after my second boy was born, I lost my mum to cancer. And so my business just completely didn't come on the radar, and it was just the basics of keeping up with my brides and her inquiries or their needs or their emails was the only thing that got done. I didn't take on any more bookings. I didn't take on any salon clients. In fact, I closed my home salon because my heart could not keep up. It could not handle my baby, my newborn, and losing my mom. So because of the season of life that I was in with my tiny little babies, my 1-year-old, my 5-week-old, and I had just lost my mum after a almost 3-year battle with cancer, my world stopped. There are no words that I can even accurately express to explain the pain and the soul growth that I had to go through those years. And so it's no wonder that my business was absolutely the last thing on my radar. And then I fell pregnant with my 3rd little boy 2 years after, and I just, for 3 solid years, just gave my whole heart to my babies. I wanted to fill my heart up with love from my babies because my heart was just so broken. And I'm not sure if you've ever lost anybody in your life, but when you lose your mum or you lose your brother or your dad or your sister or your nana, like somebody that you were intensely close with, it changes the trajectory of your life. It has the ability to open up new doorways based on the challenges and the pain and the struggle and just the level of pain that you could never describe to another human until they have actually gone through it themselves. And so for 3 years, I just spent just immersing myself into my little love bubble with my babies. And it got to a point where as they became a little older and they started to lead into the teenagers, I was like, no, mama needs a break. So from there, I started to feel like I had a little more zest and zing for my business again. And so from there, I actually led into my first mentoring experience with my very first business mentor, who just inspired me to take incredible action. What she lit up within me was like I didn't even know existed. It was like there was a dormant part of me that had been lying, like just chilling, and literally had never been ignited before. And it was in that first 6 months of working with her that I felt so alive. And from where I had come from like the pain and the struggle and the challenges of like losing mum and like having to watch her go through cancer and what it did to her body, and then like being a new mum to 3 little boys in like the glimpse of an eye within 4 years, just what I have gone through in those 4 years is just absolute whole new level of overwhelm, a whole new level of like soul growth, things that people don't experience until later on in life. And I feel like it now that I look back on it, it's like a blessing. It's like what it has opened up to me in my world has just been phenomenal. Like I'm almost so thankful that I've gone through those experiences because it has just changed the trajectory of my life. It has opened up. It's like the world is brighter. It's like the sun is shinier. It's like the winter is beautiful. It's like my babies are gorgeous. It's like everything is so much more beautiful. And I have my mum to thank for that. And so as my little bubbas grew, they head into the teenagers and they head into like the terrible 2s. I actually got to a point where I was like, mama needs a break. Mama needs space. She's about to lose her mind. And so from there, I started to immerse myself a little bit more into my business. And the more I studied with my business mentor, the more like I felt ignited, the more passion and desire I had to create so much more actually became so much more apparent in my world. So from there, I started to build the multi-6-figure businesses that I have today. And it was not always the case. It took me 24 months to get the level of growth that you see in my business today. And as I've explained, that was not what the first 8 years of my business looked like. In the first 12 months of working with my first business mentor, I was able to collapse time. The level of growth and results that I got was fucking insane and phenomenal. And this is what inspires me to help all of my clients today, is that there is another way of doing business that doesn't come with sacrificing your babies, that doesn't come with having to not be present with your babies. You don't have to choose between your babies or your business. It's like we can actually have it all. We can have everything we desire, and it doesn't come with sacrifice. And that is what I help my clients to do. This is what I have overcome and created in my own world in literally 24 months. So in the first 12 months of working with my first business mentor, I was able to 4x my revenue. So I went from 35K years to 149K year in less than 12 months. That level of growth doesn't even seem possible to some of my clients that I work with today. It doesn't even seem like they're capable of doing that. And when I share this story with them, they're like, that comes with so much sacrifice. That comes with so much pain. That comes with so much exhaustion, because they are absolutely already feeling the level of exhaustion and overwhelm and burnout that I was feeling too. But my most favorite experience as a bridal business mentor is that I can help my clients to break through that and sacrifice less. And that's exactly what I was able to do in my own business, because I remember my mentor asked me once, right? It was that, how would it feel if you seen 200K on your profit and loss statement? And I was like, no fucking way. Like, if I'm going to reach 200K on my profit and loss statement, I'm going to be in the corner rocking backwards and forwards. And what it will cost me to get that amount of money is just not even worth it in my mind. Because in my mind, I couldn't sacrifice anymore. I couldn't have more time away from my babies. I couldn't work any longer at nighttime. I could not work any more hours. I was at complete burnout and exhaustion. It just was not physically possible. My time was limited, my revenue was limited, and my growth was limited, right? What I came to create in my business is exactly what I teach my clients to do in Expansion Mastermind. And that is exactly what gave me the greatest level of growth in the shortest amount of time. And so it wasn't always that I had that level of growth. It wasn't always that level of growth came effortlessly or easy or all of the things that you dream of. It was that the growth that everybody has seen in the last 24 months is actually the result of consistently showing up, consistently taking action, investing into my business, doing the things that scare me, taking action even when I'm scared it's not going to work out. Taking action even when I'm scared nobody's going to buy. Taking action and increasing my prices even when I'm fearful that there's nobody going to pay for that. Like, increasing my travel despite my fears. 2xing my revenue even when I feared that nobody was going to buy. Even when I feared that I was going to propel myself out of the standard Perth market for the hair and makeup industry. Even when I was scared, I still did the bold, badass things. And that's when that is when I received and achieved the most incredible level of growth. But I want to remind you that it wasn't always this way. It was not. It was not always this way. For the first 3 years of my business, I could not break through 30K years. For the next 3 years of my business, I could not break through 70K years. Yes, I'd had my babies, and yes, my mama had also passed away and she was incredibly unwell for most of that 3-year period, but I still could not break through those 70K years, even when I was working 2 to 3 days a week. And so just reflect, what did you get into business for? Did you get into business because you wanted the freedom, the financial freedom, the time freedom, the things to do, the hours that you want to work, that you crave and desire for you, your family, your lifestyle? And do you feel like you've achieved that in your life right now? Because when I reflect back to the first 6 years, the first almost 8 years of my business, I absolutely had not achieved it. I was working a stupid amount of hours, trying to achieve a stupid amount of revenue that was just completely limited. Little did I know that it was myself holding me back. And I was trying to increase my revenue by increasing the hours that I'm working, and then I'm wondering why I'm at burnout. I'm wondering why I'm exhausted, because the truth is that it was 6 years into my business and I still had not had a 10K month. I still had not reached a 6-figure year yet. I was working 3 to 4 days a week and I was struggling. I was working 10 plus hours a week doing business admin. And it was that was limiting my growth. It was the hours, the undercharging it was limiting my growth. It was limiting my lifestyle balance. I was at overwhelm, exhaustion, burnout, and there just did not seem another way that I could access a 6-figure year without sacrificing more. I didn't want to sacrifice my babies. That was like my number one goal. Like if I have to choose between work or my babies will win any day. And I'm sure that you relate to that. Like as a mum in business, it's like you want to have it all, and we have this burning desire within us that we crave to have it all, right? And there's no reason why you can't have it all. But there's just this little niggling belief that we fear that we're not going to be a good enough mum. Are we sacrificing our babies to be at work? Does that establish a good mum, or is that a bad mum? For me, I had to literally break through these beliefs of being a bad mum, because I feared that if I was chasing my dreams in my business and achieving these incredible goals, and if I had to increase my hours to work maybe 4 days a week, I was the worst mum in the world. I felt like I had failed as a mum. However, what I've come to realize is that in the growth that I've experienced in the last 4-5 years is that there is a way where you can literally have it all. There's a way where you can have a 6-figure business that doesn't sacrifice your time. You don't have to work till midnight to achieve the goals that you desire in your business when you have the systems, the strategy, and the support, right? You don't have to sacrifice those precious moments with your babies just to achieve the goals that you desire in your business. If there is a world where you can work 6 hours a day within school hours and achieve an incredible amount of revenue, then you don't have to do 10 to 20 hours a week on business admin or marketing or sales and anything like that, because it's automated and it's got systems and strategies that are supporting your growth in your business. Well, that world exists. And that world is what gives you the most dreamiest business lifestyle balance. That is the world where you get to have it all. That is the world where you get to have it all. It goes against everything that you've believed growing up. It goes against everything that you've assumed is like, the role of a mother and the role of a businesswoman. Like, think about it. How many times have you actually considered, am I a good mum if I am a businesswoman? How am I a good businesswoman if I'm a mum? It's like, for me growing up, it was like you can only be one or the other. You can't be both. But the biggest breakthrough I've had in my world is that you do get to be both, and you get to do it exceptionally well. It doesn't come with sacrifice, not when you've got the systems, the strategy, and the team, and the support that surrounds you. So I hope that you found today's conversation incredibly sensational. This was a powerhouse conversation and a heart-centered one as well. Thank you for joining me today, gorgeous. If you're loving this episode, it would mean the absolute world to me if you could take a screenshot, share, and tag me in all of your socials. I love seeing this podcast reach as many ears because I want to help so many women access more time, more revenue, more growth in their business without sacrifice. This is my absolute goal for this podcast. So don't forget to hit subscribe or follow and leave an epic 5-star review, because for every review, you will receive free access to my Ignite Master Course, which was worth $2,991. So Ignite was a 3-hour business growth conversation to help you overcome your challenges, accelerate your business, and implement strategies that will help you to access more revenue, more time, and more growth, and help you to create the lifestyle and business of your dreams in the next 12 months. For every review, I will send you through access for Ignite Master Course. This is insanely epic. So once you've left your review, send me a DM with the word Ignite, and I'll send you through your discount code so you can access Ignite for free, gorgeous. Thank you so much for joining me, and I shall see you in the next episode.